Ladies and gents, welcome back. Unfounded accusations of racism are a tactic used in contemporary politics to take you away from the discussion at hand and shift focus on blaming your opponent for being a bad person. And well, it's more entertaining when you see it shifted back at the people who often use this tactic. And this is what's happening this weekend. We saw with the Liberal convention. So Trudeau and Liberals habitually accuse select Canadians that don't share their views as racist, says Stuart Woodman on Twitter. Yet one of their own brave women called them out on their own racist party members' behavior. We're going to get into this clip in a little bit here, but flashback to an interview recently from Celina Caesar-Chavannes, where she talked about the racism, the tokenism of Justin Trudeau and why she left the party cabinet.
A little bit better when you formally took your place in government.
I wanted him to know that, I was smart, I was strategic, and I was able to help with policy. And I didn't want to be a token in his government. I really was fascinated with the fact that he was talking about add women, change politics, a feminist approach, and that diversity was our strength, an intersectional approach. And that really fascinated me. And I really wanted to bring that to bear in politics.
If you're not familiar with the term tokenism, this is a term, here's the definition. Tokenism is a practice of making only a perfunctory or symbolic effort to be inclusive to members of minority groups, especially by recruiting people from underrepresented groups in order to give the appearance of racial or gender equality within a workplace or educational context. The effort of including a token individual in a work or school is usually intended to create an impression of social inclusiveness and diversity. So hiring people to be, a doll for you, essentially, a token, so that you can parade them around and show how great you are. There's no better instance of this than, well, Justin Trudeau himself back in 2015 when he was asked why he assembled his cabinet the way he did.
Your cabinet, you said, looks a lot like Canada, and I understand one of the priorities for you was to have a cabinet that was gender balanced. Why was that so important to you?
Because it's 2015.
Oh, I know, the cringe, because it's 2015. That's what an answer for that. So, of course, tokenism at play. And well, how can we know this? Well, judging by his actual behavior. And well, she gets more into it here.
But you're saying you felt silenced, that you felt tokenized. I mean, the PMO would and has framed it very differently, right? Like the Prime Minister doesn't see it that way.
Well, it's not that I felt tokenized, Andrew. There's evidence of that. In my role with the Prime Minister, the 3 international events that I attended were the state visit to Washington, in which I only met Obama. I had no other meetings or anything else to do during that whole time. The opening of the National African American Museum in Washington, again, no other meetings, and the inauguration of President Akufo-Addo in Ghana. All 3 of those international events had a very specific focus, and it was related to my Blackness. It was embarrassing to know that I was not actually hired because I was strategic or because I had business acumen or research background. It was for my Blackness, and that I didn't appreciate.
So the frustration that you would have been feeling at this time ultimately culminates in a pretty explosive exchange over the phone between you and the Prime Minister, where you say what?
Well, the conversation was a courtesy call to tell him that I was no longer going to be running in the 2019 election. And what I had thought naively was that I was going to get the Prime Minister saying, Celina, I value your contribution. I hope that you'd run again. I didn't get any of that. What I got was, Celina, I can't have you make this announcement today because Jody Wilson-Raybould resigned today, and I can't have 2 powerful women of color leave. He went on to talk about his privilege and how people keep talking about it.
Oh, before we continue on with this, for those who don't know this situation as well, Jody Wilson-Raybould was the first female Indigenous representative who was given the position of Attorney General in Canada. Now, there was a big controversy. It was a big it was a scandal. It was a big scandal because there was the SNC Lavalin, which was an organization out of Quebec, out of, I believe, Justin Trudeau's own riding, that committed some crimes, committed actual crimes. Jody Wilson-Raybould, as Attorney General, said, yeah, we're going to go after them. We're going to seek justice here, because that's what she was brought in to do. And that's what she believed she was brought in to do, until she realized that she was being tokenized as well. And while you can really tell the motives there, because when they kicked her out of the position, she ended up resigning from another position out of protest of what happened to her. But she was kicked out of her position, and the job was given to, that's right, a big white guy. Well, not a big white guy, but just a white guy, you know, the usual old. And he was willing enough to go along with the corrupt plans of not going after SNC Lavalin, and in fact doing exactly what Justin Trudeau was pressuring Jody Wilson-Raybould not to do. Now, also to note, this is a man who doesn't believe that we have a fundamental right to property in Canada. This is his own words.
You don't have an absolute right to own private property in Canada. It is.
That's terrible. That is really terrible. But let's see what else had to be said here to Justin Trudeau as she was leaving the cabinet.
His privilege. He went on to say that I should appreciate him. I should appreciate what he's done for me in the time that I've been in government, as if I didn't work hard. And at the end of it, you know, at the end of his rant, I said, you know, motherfucker, who the fuck do you think you're talking to? You know, if he had spoken to any member of my constituency, any 130,000 member of Whitby that way, I would have had said the exact same thing, and I'd likely do it again.
Okay, okay, but I mean, that's a hell of a thing to say to the Prime Minister of the country, right?
Well, it's not just a hell of a thing to say to the Prime Minister. When the Prime Minister is speaking to me like a child, like someone that he happens to own within his government, what am I supposed to say? Am I still supposed to be polite in that context?
Whoa, boy, I wouldn't be polite myself, but hey, good on you. Good on you for actually saying it to his face like that. I think more people need to know about this kind of thing here. Now, this is a scene from the convention earlier, or during the weekend, where a member of the Liberal Party accused her own members of being so racist that it took to bring it to the surface was some fatigue and a bit of booze. All it took. I bet if you threw some marijuana, they would start breaking out the black shoe polish, says Tokyo Rosie here. But here's the clip.
Hello. My name is Dawn Upshaw. I'm from Nova Scotia. I'm African Canadian. The Black Loyalists. I'm also Miss Dissany Cree from Bay James. I attended a reception last night. We're here from different time zones. People are tired, people are hungry, and there was liquor served at the event. So people were getting drunk and tired rather quickly. And that's when the racism come out. So I was here last night listening and reacting to racism from Liberals. So when you respond to racism, do not respond with food, fun, and fashion shows as you've done in the past. Do something, and let us do something, and let us be the people who guide you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm very, very sorry that happened, and I think we all want to make sure that we condemn any type of racism of any type, and we need to understand that actions matter more than words. So on the first question. Yeah.
Oh God, that's it's so cringe. But yeah, here we are. This is the Liberal convention with quite the turnout. As you can see here, many dozens of people turned out for this convention. But yeah, accusations of racism, genuine accusations. I guess all you got to do is break out a couple of bottles of wine, and out comes the racism from the Liberals in the convention. Of course, Pierre Poilievre was slammed by Trudeau at the convention for not being woke enough. And this is where we really are with this here in Canada. the Prime Minister Justin Trudeau saying you're woke. Wokeism is tokenism, evidently. This is where we are with this. But hey, let me know what you think. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. Are liberals closeted racists? I don't know. This is something that we're seeing coming out. I know that tokenism is not really anything for the ideas of liberalism in its in its essence, but we'd love to see a Canada moving towards more of an approach where we all live equally and we all have well, I guess meritocracy is the idea that we would love to see happen, where people can benefit from their actions, not because of, the color of their skin or anything like that. It's just your skills that you bring to the table, which would get you the job. Well, that's not what we have been seeing here with the Trudeau government. We've been seeing tokenism, which is the soft bigotry of low expectations and bringing in people for the sake of just being a token as well. Anyway, leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think of this whole scenario, and we'll see you in the next one. Keep on trucking.